Nicole O'Neill once said, when you find the courage to use your voice, it has the power to positively inspire and change the lives of others. It is one of the special gifts you have to offer the world. It is something to be cherished and championed, never hidden. And that is why we are here on Your Voice, Your Impact. I am the energetic EJ. I am a life and transformational coach, and I work with women aged 40 and above to turn their abandoned dreams into achievable goals by activating their voice for impact. I'm also a podcaster and an event host. On this show with me is
Great, so amazing. The goal of this show is to help people use their voices to create impact. I am a physicist and a life coach. What I do for my clients is I help them build systems to achieve their goals whilst having fun doing it. On this show, we discuss topical issues that can inspire you to move. Like, subscribe, and share. Welcome aboard.
Hello. Welcome to Your Voice, Your Impact. Yes, if you're yet to like, share, and subscribe, what are you waiting for? Go ahead and do that right now. But first of all, today we have great news. I'm super excited about this one, and I can't wait to share with you right off the oven. Yes. Welcome. So today's episode is sponsored by, as you can see on the screen, Present Right Academy. Yes, today's show is sponsored by Present Right Academy, led by the beautiful and delectable Adeola Babatunde. And this is the sponsorship is Practice, Speak, Repeat, which is a program. So, what is Practice, Speak, Repeat, aka PSR? What is it all about? The Practice, Speak, Repeat program is a 12 weeks long online coaching program where you get the opportunity to practice your public speaking once a week. And then you just don't do that, but you get feedback from a professional, and eventually you get to develop the confidence to speak like a CEO. Who wants to speak like a CEO? I hope you do. Now, the Practice, Speak, Repeat program allows you to focus on what is important, which is practicing over time. It also allows you to have a structure and design amazing content as well as deliver presentations like a pro. Again, it's a 12-week program. And in those 12-week, the participants will discover the secrets behind how great speakers show up confidently. They will uncover the obstacles that have held them back for so long. You will improve on fine tuning your delivery through constant weekly practice sessions. You will structure a winning presentation all the time. You will get professional feedback on your presentation that will radically improve your delivery. And you will deliver professional presentation that will make your boss and colleague respect you, right? These and many more are what PSR offers. Plus, you get support and accountability. Again, the duration is 12 weeks. The location is online via Zoom, and you can connect from any part of the world if you're watching this right now. So let's get to the meat of the matter. How do you get to win a slot? Because our sponsor is giving out a slot of this program. And guess what? It's worth 350,000 naira. That is equivalent to $200 plus. That is a huge gift from our sponsors today. And we're so thankful to our sponsors from Present Right Academy, led by Adeola Babatunde. So here is how you could be the lucky winner of this slot. Number one is do follow us on Instagram. You follow our channel and the page of our sponsor today. So you're going to follow Your Voice, Your Impact show on Instagram, as well as Public Speaking for Women on Instagram. Now, I need to say this here. This program is originally like dedicated to women, but our sponsor is open and is willing to work with a dedicated man who signs up for this. Again, this month we are dedicating it to men, right? So we're opening this up. And like Gracie said, we're going to talk about it quickly when we get into the conversation today. We've had a lot of people accusing us, women this, women that, women this, women that. Now we're giving an opportunity, and we're opening up ourselves to you to say, you know what, our arms are open, wide open to support you if you're willing to get on board. So for any man who is interested in this, yes, you have to go through all this to show your commitment that you really need to be in this session. And of course, we're not leaving it close to women if you want to come on board, but we're saying we're going to give preference to men for the submissions when you do submit your entry to get the slot. So you subscribe to our YouTube channel, this channel you're watching this on right now, and create a 1-minute video telling us why you should be the lucky winner. Send it to voiceimpact@gmail.com on or before November 30th. This month. So I'm leaving the screen on so that you can take a snapshot of it so you can know the steps to follow to win the slot. And we're going to keep talking about this throughout this series in the month of November as we celebrate our men. So all entries will come in by November 30th. And on December 1st, we're going to make the post on our page on Instagram. And then all you need to do is invite your friends to engage with your post. And then we'll decide the winner on the 16th of December and announce it. Why? Because the program is kicking off in January. So there's a lot of time. So we're giving you enough time to prepare for your entries and to prepare for the engagement before we do announce the winner before we close out the year. So again, thanks to our sponsor from Present Right Academy, giving out a slot on PSR, which is practice, speak, repeat for people who want to master their public speaking prowess. All right. And it's beautiful because even our guest on the show today is a public speaking coach himself. All right. Without further ado, I am going to get into the show now and bring on Gracie as we kickstart the conversation. All right. Woo! Hello, hello, everyone. How are you doing today? I hope you're well. Thank you for joining us on Your Voice, Your Impact today. So, again, remember that as we are on a journey to hitting 10,000 subscribers by July 19th, 2025. All right. And we need you to help us get to that milestone. So please, if you're yet to subscribe to this YouTube channel and do share with a friend or two or three or 10, or share in your WhatsApp group, your Facebook group, anywhere you know you can share your WhatsApp status. Please keep sharing so that it can help us achieve the goal of hitting 10,000 subscribers by July 19th, 2025. And also, you can support the show by showing us some love, and sending us some donations because we need to also run ads to this program. We need more eyeballs seeing this show because we know we bring value to the table. And since our goal is to amplify voices for impact, we really, really, really are digging into putting that into practice. So we need your support, all right? And we're not ashamed to ask for it because, again, there's that saying that a closed mouth is a closed destiny. So our mouth is not closed, though. Please support the work. If you've ever gotten any type of value on the show, this is your opportunity to show some sort of appreciation and support for the show. All right. Woo! Welcome, welcome, welcome. Gracie, how are you doing today?
I'm amazing as always. I'm good. I'm happy to be here. And this our seat is therapeutic. Every Monday we come here. It sets the tone for the week, no
For the
matter how
week,
you're feeling.
absolutely.
Once you get on this seat, you are already contributing to your community and to the world at large. For that, I am grateful. So it's a
Feels like
beautiful,
a channel.
yeah.
Yeah, it feels like a channel where we're just like, okay, we're feeling cluggy or anything. Just let it out. Let it out. Also, how was your weekend?
My weekend was amazing. Thank goodness. It was amazing. Okay, I don't want to abuse this word amazing, but really, there is
Because when you are great to
nothing,
amazing, you are
there
free
is
to abuse
nothing,
it.
yeah. So there is nothing that is nearest in meaning to that word when I really want to explain. So what did I do? This weekend, what happened this weekend? Let me see. Goodness, it was something remarkable that I did. Okay, all right. So this weekend I went to see my nephew, my very
Oh, cute. Your nephew, your
yeah,
cute
my
nephew.
cute nephew. However, Friday was not so cute. Friday was not so
Tell me
cute.
about that one. Ah!
Yeah, so it's interesting to know that we're in the season where the activities, this December, activities, several activities going on. So I went to a different state. On my way back, I was stuck in a very terrible traffic. There was
Traffic
this program, a religious program that was going on, and the whole place was filled with
blocked.
cars, and I was in that car. But the beautiful thing I discovered about myself on that day was my anxiety level reduced, because there was something I was rushing back to Abuja for, and I couldn't come. I was just there stuck in traffic. There was nothing I could do. Well, I had an option of just coming out of the vehicle and then taking, because I didn't drive to that place. And at the end of the day, I realized that, Grace, you're growing. This work that you're
Mm,
doing is showing. So that's something I would call amazing, and growth. I'm big on personal development, personal growth, and I always look for ways to know that I'm not just preaching it, I'm also practicing it. So yes, the
absolutely.
weekend the weekend on Friday was terrible for me, but on Saturday I connected. It was time to connect with family, and it was an amazing and awesome opportunity for me. Yeah.
Love it, love it. And
What
thank
was
you for
your own weekend?
yesterday. Absolutely. Thank you for yesterday. I think my weekend was cool. Was cool. Sundays nowadays are really cool for me. But you made it cooler last night by dragging the mastermind together. Like, hey, yeah, it's been a while. Let's catch up. Oh my God. I felt like that mastermind conversation was for me because, even after the network didn't allow you stay, myself and Coach Victoria, we talked and it was like, oh my God, I was just getting light of movement and I felt really good and I just felt really blessed and really grateful for the kind, of great mind that God has just surrounded me with. And for me, that kind of wrapped up my whole weekend on this sweet level. Like, woof, you are blessed among, people. So thank you for that. All right. So our guest today, I want you to do the honors of bringing up our guest today. Tell us something about this guest and let us have this
Hey!
conversation.
Woohoo! Drum rolls for our guys. Drum rolls. Yes. Okay. So, apart from the fact that Yogesh is a friend, Yogesh is also someone that uses his voice for impact. And for me, that is amazing. So we have someone that is going to blow our minds with his amazing storytelling skills. And of course, someone that is so dedicated to personal growth and development. As you can tell, we already mentioned that he's a public speaking coach, but that's one thing out of many things that he does. But for the purpose of our conversation
Conversation.
today, we're going to bring him up. And while he's there, I'm going to quickly read a little bit about his profile. So I guess before he comes up, or he'll be right
Yeah,
here while I
before,
read.
no, before,
Okay, so,
before.
okay, all right. So I'll just quickly. Our dear guest, Yogesh Kapoor, is a Okay, Yoga's journey began with a pivotal moment that sparked a lifelong passion for helping others overcome their fear of public speaking. Since then, he has focused on providing personalized coaching sessions that build confidence, improve delivery, and structure speeches for maximum impact. Now, that's one major aspect of him. Like I said, he's a major, and it's a very long read here. If we're going to read what Yogesh is about. We're not going to leave here today. But
Right.
primarily, he's a confidence and public speaking coach.
All
So,
right.
to the podium, we
To the
invite
podium.
our
To the
uh,
podium.
Yogesh Kapoor.
Thank you, ladies, for that wonderful introduction.
Welcome, welcome. You know, Yogesh, you're I know you're Indian, right?
Yeah, my
Are
parents.
you? Okay.
No, my parents are from India, but I grew up in Hong Kong.
Hong Kong. But you remind me of like an Egyptian. I don't know why.
Oh,
Maybe it's the
I
no.
lived in
hairstyle.
Dubai. I lived in Dubai for 9 years. So,
The princes, like the what do they call them? The pharaohs. They don't have hair or something like so. You remind me of them. But good to have you on the show. Thank you so much for coming. How are you feeling today?
I'm feeling great. I'm feeling great. And the
Awesome.
energy you guys put up together makes me even feel more great.
We can't wait for your energy to mix up with this. This place should be exploding in a few minutes, I am sure. But we're just taking it gently into the system. Yeah, but thank you, for accepting our invitation, especially in this month of November where we're celebrating men. And like myself and Grace, we've had a lot of encounters, like, even when we announced that this month is going to be dedicated to men and all of that. It's almost like some people were like, it's a lie, they're you people. And then, you know what made it worse? Our very first guest for the month was a woman. And that caused trouble again. Like, excuse you. First of all, you say you want to talk about men, and we're like, don't talk about us. Now you're having a woman on your show. What exactly are you getting at? But the conversation we had last week, it's been amazing. Even the feedback you see, even from men, right? And our guest last week was truly like a was she a psychotherapist, or was it psychotherapist? And what was the other thing? And I forgot. But she's been in the mental health space for over 30 years, right? So she spoke so succinctly to the case and to the topic of men's mental health, which is essentially what we're about today. But today we're talking about their struggles, the societal pressure. When you saw that headline, what was the first thing that came to mind for you as a man? And please, we want you, we trust, because we know you're a coach, so you're able to, you understand the power of vulnerability here. So we're hoping that you're going to represent the men folk and help us understand some things.
Oh, definitely. When I first read the title, it struck me immediately because we talk so much about mental health for women, and there's so many programs around women, but I think the men have been kind of ignored. And I have a very good friend in Australia. She's a NLP coach, and she said the same thing. She's like, she told one of my friends that you guys think that um, we women always need the coaching or the therapy and all. You'll be surprised the number of men who are silent. They don't even come out to ask for help, is because they were always told growing up that, stop crying. It's not a good thing to cry. It's not a good thing to express yourself. And I think somewhere that has caused that, generations of mental illness for men, because they have a difficult time being vulnerable, because they feel if they're vulnerable, they'll be considered weak. And that starts from their childhood, right? Because those are the years they form their belief system. And that belief system, unfortunately, is built through their parents and sometimes even their relatives and friends, where they're just told not to express themselves and be a man. I mean, how do you define what a man is, right? How do you define what a man is? I mean, is it about just being in your masculine energy all the time? I mean, if that was the case, then the world would be a very different place today than it is what it used to be. I think today we have much more feminine energy going around, especially in men as well. Like most of my friends who know me, and especially Grace, you can ask her, they will all say I have more feminine energy than I have masculine energy. And I
Hmm.
think that's part of being a coach and healing and those other aspects. But just last week, I met with a friend and I wanted to bring the story up because last year, my friend wasn't in a good place. And I noticed that he was always very, like, he sounded very low in confidence and, low self esteem. And we stayed in the same room together during my public speaking contest. So he helped me arrange everything. I needed a balloon for my contest. He helped me out last year. And I got to know him better. So I was like asking him questions, like, and he's like, and he told me about his childhood and how he doesn't get along with his parents and they always look down on him and he always felt depressed. And after the contest was over, I kind of sent him a voice note saying, thank you for what you did for me. I don't think anyone's done so much, just knowing me for a while, not too long. And he felt so appreciated. And I think
Hmm.
that's one thing I would like to tell women is men also want to be appreciated. Because the woman
Hmm.
always says we want to be appreciated, we want to be appreciated, whether it's through gifts or through gestures or whatever it is, right? Men also want to be appreciated.
Right. Hmm.
They also
Like
want
that.
that pat on the back because somewhere in their childhood, they didn't get that. So they
Hmm.
also want that. Yes, some
Right.
some men grew up in a different way. They were allowed to express themselves. I'm not saying all men are like that,
Well, yeah,
but
absolutely.
yeah, but a
It's almost like
majority
the
of men,
majority. Yes. Yes.
yeah, majority of men are like that. They don't know how to express themselves. I mean, I've been living in China the last 2 years, and
Right.
it's really surprising when I meet men and I talk to them, and many of them who I've seen, they look depressed, their energy is low, they're not in relationships, they don't know how to express themselves. In fact,
Hmm.
there's a friend of mine, he drives me to the public speaking club every Saturday. So he
Hmm.
picks me up, we go together, and every time we have a conversation in the car, he's like, I had no friends till I joined Toastmasters. And
Oh,
that
wow.
shocked me. And I'm like, then what you used to do every time? He's like, I used to just video game all day.
Right.
And this guy's
Oh,
40, by the way.
wow.
He's 40.
Wow.
Can you imagine that? I mean, and he's just like, I just used to video game. I never used to go out. But after I've joined Toastmasters, I've started having friends. I'm going out. And me calling him and saying, do you mind if we go together? He's
Together,
like,
right.
that made him feel happy. Like somebody called and
Hmm.
asked me for something. So you can
Hmm.
imagine, right? A lot of people think that men don't want to be asked. I asked him, like, I called him, hey, you want to go together since you go anyways every day? I mean, every
Right.
weekend, right? So these are live examples in front of me of men who don't open up, who don't share, and it's all from childhood. Majority of it is from childhood.
Right. Thank you. Thank you for highlighting that because even as you shared that story about your friend, I could, especially when you said, you know, he's like he doesn't really have friends. And I really am curious. Like, I don't even know how to ask this question. I know it's childhood and everything, right? But because I've seen this happen, it's almost like, is it that they're not aware that it's their childhood or whatever is happening, or did they accept part of the societal pressure we're talking about of this is how this person is? So some people are like, their excuse always is like, "Ah, I'm an introvert. I'm an introvert," right? And they use that as an excuse. They don't go out. Like for some, like you said, this person could even be a family person. I've seen people who are families, but their wives are more social and everything, but like it's very difficult to drag them out of the house, to drag them to relate with other people. So is it a thing of the nature? Is it just a thing of their nature, or is this all about the childhood experience?
See, I won't say it's only childhood. I won't say it's only childhood because, some people, they prefer being in their own world. Like I used to be like that. I would never go out. I would sit home. I would like be in my own world at times. And my elder brother was way more social than me. Like he would have all the girls calling at home. You know, back then we had phones. We didn't have mobile phones, right? And I would pick up the phone all the time. And everybody would ask my elder brother, why doesn't your younger brother like talk much or come out much? And for me, because I liked my peace. I part of it was I was shy, but part of it was I also enjoy my peace because I had this
Mm.
intuitive sense that I don't want to be around too many people. You know,
Mm.
again, it's also about your energy. Some people feel a lot of anxiety around. I'm an empath. I
Yeah,
can catch on to people's energies,
I get
right?
that right. That's
And
right.
and if you're surrounded by people with a lot of negative energy, it
They
takes
suck.
a little
They
bit of,
suck you dry.
yeah, yeah. It can take you a whole month to come over
Recover.
that one night thing. Yeah. So I won't just say
Mm.
it's about childhood, but of course, a lot of it also has to do with rejection and the way
Mm.
we
Mm.
perceive how things have to be in life. Like here in China, I'm giving the example of China because I've been here the last 2 years, right?
Mm.
I am quite surprised that whenever you ask a man who's not married, like, why aren't you married or why aren't you have a girlfriend and all? Oh, the woman just want money.
Oh
And
wow.
that answer surprises me. I'm like, what do you mean they just want money? Oh, they want a sense of security. Like, do you have a property? Like, can you take care of me like fully? And that surprises me a lot because a lot of the women here work. In fact, majority of the women here speak better English than men. So
Mm.
when men tell me that, I'm like, really? Like, it doesn't seem like that over
Like
here. It
that.
never used to be like that because I've been coming China since 1996, since I
Mm.
was 18. Since I was 18, I've been coming here. So, you know, the culture has changed as well.
Right.
Pressure has changed as well. Social media has
Mm.
changed everything as well, not just for the men, but even for the women. I see all
Right.
these women using TikTok here. They have all these filters, and it's just weird. Nobody wants to show their real self, you know? Like even my Toastmaster club, every time my Korean friend, she takes a photo of us, she puts on a filter, and I have like these red lips, and I'm like, stop doing that. Like, you're making me look bad, you know? So you can see the pressure, right? That's society pressure, societal pressure, right? Imagine a woman won't grace herself. How do you expect a man to grace himself? And by the way,
Mm.
grace, the word grace came up, right? If women are not willing to grace themselves, and women are considered the ones with the healing energies and, the motherly heart and the soft heart, how do you expect men who've been pushed to be in their masculine energy, even though they're not, to grace
Mm.
themselves? It's really unfortunate.
Hmm. Wow. Grace, what are you thinking? Your name has come up a couple of times. I think it's time for you to unmute.
Just like I wrote on my page earlier, grace is a frequency, but that's not what we're talking about.
Ooh.
So I'm happy. I was just listening to you, and I was just enjoying your all what you have said so far. And there's a story that I know that I would love for you to share. Later on if we have time. You have told us that story a couple of. I mean, you've said it. I'm sure I've heard it a million times, but I love to hear it again because it gives me an idea of the struggles that a young boy would grow up, and the decision in changing is on them. But before I allow you do that, sometimes I get confused when men say things like, I want peace. I want peace. Help us understand, because we might be from different countries, we might be from different continents, but I am beginning to see that we have a lot in common. We do have a lot in
Absolutely.
common because we're
Honestly.
human beings, and we have a lot in common. A little bit of cultural differences, but when it comes to
The
human nature,
core.
The
Mm.
core of human nature, we have a lot in common. So that is taking me to the question where I would ask, tell us what peace means to men. Help us out. Let us know what peace looks like to men. I hear it all the time and I'd love to understand what it means to men.
Well, there's a lot of things I could say about that. I mean, because peace in its own has many definitions for every different individual. But
Yeah.
I think the one that really what turns men off is being nagged. Okay, they don't want to be nagged by any woman, even if it's their friend or their girlfriend or their spouse or anyone. Right? They want to switch off. I mean, how many times have you heard about men coming home, drinking a beer, watching TV, and the woman's irritated? Right? Now, women always say, we want to go for our hairdo, we want to go for our manicure, pedicure, right? We want to go for that massage. We men just want a beer and watch TV, man. That's all we're looking at without being told to do something, right? Without being told to do anything. And, sometimes it's also the lack of communication, okay? Nobody's taught how to listen. We've all been taught how to speak. So maybe the person nagging you is actually the conversation is something else. They're asking you for something, but you're not understand. And that's what I never understand is why women just don't clearly say what do they want. It just makes it even more
Don't
complicated for
we?
men.
I think we
No,
do.
no, 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 no.
I just feel that men just switch off not to hear because they have heard it a million times and they
Okay,
just
I'll be very straight up, right? When a man wants something, he'll say it. He'll say it. I want this. Majority of times they do. Majority of the times they do.
Nope.
Right?
I
We
don't
we keep
agree.
it very
Well,
simple. We keep it.
maybe. Nope.
maybe you, because some men would rather
Maybe
laugh
you.
off, and most men, when it comes to communication, really, I think I should throw that in. When it comes to communication, and I'm speaking, I think I'm speaking for most women when I say it, we came factory fitted to be able to speak. Now, how we choose to speak is a different pot of beans. However, when it comes to communicating, I think women do a better job in terms of communicating. I might be wrong because it's very individualistic. But when you say men say what they want, what do you mean? Just continue, because I mean I could tell the energetic was also saying that no, men don't like to say what they want. They'd rather keep it bottled up. And that's why when you
Before I
speak,
answer that
we want
question,
you to speak
when
up.
you see, it could also be that I triggered both of you, right? When I said that, it could be I triggered both of you, right? And that's what men feel when a woman says something and he answers or he does what she says, but end of the day it just goes round and round and round. I'll give you a simple example. Okay, my wife, she'll ask me, should I wear this or should I wear that? And I say, you decide. You're gonna wear it anyways. So she's like, you're not helping me, right? And then I'm like, okay. I look, and then I'm like, okay, this one. She's like, no, but I like that one. Now what am I supposed to think at that time? Now what am I supposed to say? And I said, didn't I just say that you choose? I can see it on your faces. You've done it too.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my goodness.
Funny.
Okay. Okay.
I'm just giving you one simple, nice, sweet example. I
Well,
won't go into
okay,
the other stuff.
I would say really individualistic when it comes to things like this. I know there are things you can collectively say that, oh, that's what you get when it comes to an average woman. And I think, yeah, I think you caught us there when you said, why did you we're a little extra guilty, but
I
you're
think,
telling us about
see,
peace. So go ahead.
when I say when men say what they want is when they communicate, they speak more directly and to the point than women. Women like to tell the whole story. Okay, they want to tell the whole story, you know,
But there are actually
and
men like that
sometimes,
too. But
yeah. I'm not saying all women, okay, ladies. I'm not saying all women, but I'm saying the majority of women I have spoken to, and you know, I hear them telling their stories, and sometimes they don't get to the point. And just recently, there was a young girl. She just came back from the US, and she's part of our speaking club, and very lost, very lost. I had to coach her for like 4 or 5 hours, you know, and she confused me eventually because she was like, I was like, because I'm like coaching her. She's like, okay, I want to get a degree. I want to finish my degree. I want to do this. I want to do that. And I'm like, okay, so you want a job, plus you want to get a degree, plus you want to get married. And I was like, uh, it just didn't, I'm like, you got to prioritize. What do you really want? Because to me, it seems like, you're not making the choice. You're coming under that societal pressure. And just last week, she suddenly messaged me. She's like, Coach, I'm feeling miserable, blah, 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 blah. I'm like, what happened? She's like, my brother this, my father this, my da, 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 da. I'm like, then get out of the environment. She's like, but I cannot. She's like, I cannot because they forced me to stay with her. And now I can understand that maybe she wants a job so she can move out. Maybe she wants to get that degree because, you know, she wants to move, right? But the problem is, I said, why don't you just sit your parents down and communicate that my energy levels are going down being around you people, you know?
mm, I feel you though. I think yeah. So again, where this where this has brought
It's
us,
the
it
peace
may
question that I asked, or the peace question.
peace.
Peace. Yeah. So,
Okay, come back
you
to
know,
peace here.
peace is just let a man be simple. Like, he doesn't want to be told too much. If you want to communicate something, you have to give him his space first, right? Don't just emotionally dump him with everything. He already has enough in his garbage can. Imagine being dumped with even more, you know, negative energy or way of talking. It has to be simple. And there's already enough pressure on men, right? I read this quote somewhere. I don't remember the exact quote, but it was like, men and women can be uh, forgiven, but if a man doesn't provide, he's looked something down on. I don't remember the exact quote right now, but I can understand that, right? Because men are considered the providers. Like for me, believe me, I live alone. I mean, I won't say the word alone. I live by myself, and my family's all the way the other side of the world. I have my days where I'm like, I can't see my son, right? And my wife's not around me, and I eat out every day, and sometimes it just makes me feel sick because I don't cook. I don't have that energy in me to come home and cook and all of that stuff. I mean, I go through an emotional imbalance every day, you know? Like when I video call my son, I'm like, I wish I could spend more time with him. Because I'm in China, part of my other work is also exporting products. And that can be done not living here. So for me also, I have my emotionals ups and downs. And then when I get messages from my wife, which are as long as essays, and it just, it's just like like my mind's like, should I even read it or not? Should I read it in the morning or not? Or should I read it in the night or not? Because both times are like so dangerous for me. And if I leave it during the work time, I won't be able to work. So if I read it at night, it's going in my subconscious mind. If I read it in the morning, it's going in my subconscious mind. Where the hell do I go? And if I don't address it, I am not being the partner that I've committed to be.
So what do you
And if
do
the
then?
conversation goes the wrong way, the blame's going to come on me. Like you just don't listen. When can I
Listen.
talk to you? Yeah, exactly. And then I'm like, okay,
Honestly. So wait. How come they say it's a men's world? Because with all of these points, it's as if it's a women's world, man.
No, you see, it's so funny how I think this is what complements us at the end of the day. This is what complements us, and it will be boring if we wear the same. It will be boring. It will be annoying. It will be like, I'm I'm very logical, and then you're very logical, and there is no level of emotions, no level of the spice to it, the drama that we bring to the table. The I don't want this. Why didn't you? It will be boring. So let's be factual, because I remember growing up, my dad complaining about my mom making so much noise and she's all over the place. She's this, she's that. And I noticed what my mom, I didn't, maybe it was unconscious, but it was something she devised. It was a means that she devised, and then she would travel. My mom would travel, for a couple of weeks, and my dad would be like, "When are you coming back?" And I'm like, "Oh, okay." So he misses her. Yeah. So I think so my next question is this. Do you, in the midst of all of this drama that women come up with, because it is going to help us to understand where to draw a balance. The goal for this conversation, by the way, is to understand where we women, what we do, or what the society at large is doing to make men uncomfortable. And the goal of this conversation is to help us catch ourselves, if not for anything. If I want to talk to my man in a way that he might not like, this conversation will remind me that, okay, maybe I should do it this way because I have learned. So the next question I want to ask you is, how are you able to let your woman, in this case, talking about relationship and even the society? So you help us, marry both in responding to this. How can an average man help himself first of all, to be able to handle some of these pressures coming to them? Maybe it could be from a partner, it could be from the society, it could be from anywhere. So what do you think, or what do you suggest, or what do you even practice that can help you to handle some of these pressures that come from all these angles?
Well, there are many ways, right? I mean, sometimes when I feel extremely, extremely overwhelmed, I just go to sleep because that's the best healing in the world. You just switch your mind off, shut it off, because if you're not being able to handle it, what are you supposed to do? You can't ignore it. So why don't you just sleep? Shut your mind off. I do that. Like I did that yesterday. I wasn't being able to handle a lot of things and I just slept. That's all I did. And today I felt way more focused, way more, you know, presentable. And I got so much done today that I wouldn't have got done if I didn't take that rest yesterday. So rest is important because we live in a world of hustle, grind, but we also need rest, right? So that is one important thing. I've recently started meditation. So on Thursdays, I go meditate. I can't do it on my own, so I go group meditation. Sometimes you need that, what's the right word? Community, Yeah, you need that community. Um, I have my Toastmasters club every Saturday. Had I not had them, I would go crazy because I enjoy speaking and coaching, right? But here in China, I don't really have the platform uh, like in companies or these places. So I go there, even if I speak for 2 minutes or 5 minutes, I go and that brings me strength, right? Exchanging that energy. Um, for some people, it could be just go watch a movie. I do that sometimes. If I need to I go watch a movie. I use these practices to get the peace I'm looking for, you know? And sometimes I am the one who approaches my spouse, right? Like I send her a message and I tell her that I'm feeling like this. And um, at that point, she is the one, I'm being vulnerable, right? Sometimes it's very difficult for men to be vulnerable, especially if they've been shut down many times. But if your spouse, your girlfriend, you know, if that relationship is really strong, you need to allow them, the man, to be vulnerable and not comment. He just wants you to listen. He doesn't want your advice or your coaching. He just wants you to listen. If he wanted coaching, he would tell you, what should I do? But if he's just pouring his heart out to you, all he wants you to do is listen. But too many people are listening to respond. They're not just listening. Like, I had another friend call me 2 days ago, and same thing. She was confused about something. She asked me a few questions, and she's like, should I do this, or should I go here and solve this problem, or should I attend this event? And I asked, yeah, go ahead, Grace, you're on mute. And we're frozen. Okay. So seems like I am the only one here. Okay, you are back.
I'm back. Sorry, our network
I
decided
guess
to.
both of you took my peace comment very seriously, huh? You left me in my own void to speak.
Have all the peace. Have all the peace in the world. Oh my goodness. Sorry about that. Okay.
No, no, it's
Yeah.
okay.
So
It happens. It's technology.
yeah,
So
you were
what I was
talking
just
about. Yes.
telling
Go
Grace
ahead.
about,
Mm.
you know, as a woman, sometimes the man wants you to just listen. He doesn't want you to
Mm.
coach them. He doesn't want your comments. He doesn't want any of that. He doesn't want that. He just wants you to listen. That's it.
That's it.
I think that's one of that is peace, the most peaceful thing. Without having to hear your partner tell you, I told you you should have done that, but maybe you should do this. You should talk to this person. You know,
Mm.
we're not looking
I
for
hear you.
advice. If we were looking for that, we would ask you. We would say, what do you think about this? What should I do?
Right, right. And I think that's one of the hardest things for women, listening and just putting a full stop to that. And I think it comes with a lot of practice because until you learn to listen, to understand, and
Yes.
wait to be invited to give your opinion or advice or suggestion, it's a very difficult thing. And I am thankful for coaching because coaching is what has helped me to be able to do that now. Because before coaching, um I listen and I come from the place of I want to help. Like, I can obviously see you're in trouble. Why are you not like, you're obviously in trouble? So the automatic thing for me is to want to offer help, right? And in my head back then, it's like, you're telling me this because you want me to help you. If you don't want me to help you, why are you telling me? Do you get what I mean? But now with coaching, I know that sometimes you just truly want to speak because you just want to pour. It's almost like you want to unburden, and you just need somebody who will just listen and be like, And then if they want something more, they'll be like, you're not even saying anything. Okay, what do you want me to say? But it's
Well,
coaching that has.
as 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 coaches, the one thing is, I think even the people speaking to us sense our feminine energy and they get pulled in. And I think that's something women have, is just what you just said earlier. Because you are a coach, you understand that you need to listen, not just give your opinion out there, right? If women understood this part, I think it would be, I mean, the world would be a much more peaceful place,
I feel you.
right?
I
Because
feel you on
we
that.
always say, oh, the woman plays many roles, right? She plays a mother, she's a daughter, she's a sister, she's a girlfriend, wife, mother, all of
Right.
that. Now imagine a man has to handle all of them. He has to have a
Hmm.
balance between his mother, his sister, his wife, his daughter,
His friend.
right?
Hmm.
Do you listen to your mother or do you listen to your wife? If you listen to your wife, your mother will say, see, you grew up too fast. You listen to your mother, the wife will be like, you still holding on to your mom. And when your sister and wife are not getting along, what do you do? And when the daughter and mother have a fight, what does a man do? Where does he go? Right?
Hmm. 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 Wow.
I'll
Okay.
give you the
That's
best
nice.
example. And I was telling my colleagues this today because I told them I'm very soft. I don't scream too much, right? I'm very good with children. So he's like, what do you mean? I said, one, I've coached many children. I feel I get along very well and I enjoy teaching children the most. But when my daughter was growing up, I remember she would get a bit late, waking up for school. And my wife would be like, it's getting late, all of that. I would be like, how can you wake a child up with that kind of subconscious? Like, oh, get up, you're late, and all that. I would play with her. I would be like, you know, oh, I'm a crane and I'm gonna pick you up. And then, she would smile and laugh and wake up. And then I would be like, who's gonna be the first one to get to the toilet? And she would run and you have to that's
Hmm.
the same way we expect women to be with us at times. That
After all, we call you
caring.
people baby, eh?
Yeah, of course. Who don't you think we men all want a little bit of babying as well? See what I
We
mean?
can't
When
hear
I
you.
said
We
the
can't
word
hear you. We
baby,
can't hear you.
you're like,
Grace, Grace, Grace.
you,
We
you
can't
you
hear
saw your
you.
reaction, and that's what societal pressure is. Because when I say I want babying,
Let her
everyone's
be
like, you
baby.
both are like, really? That is what societal pressure is. Like, I can't have babying. Why not? Why can't I have someone cuddle me and just pet my head like a puppy dog or something like that? Like, why not? Right?
Yeah, why not?
I think we should take it
Sometimes.
seriously. Energetic. Don't laugh. They're saying what they
No, no, I'm
want, and we
serious.
should
I'm
we should
serious.
we should be serious right now.
That's the thing. The concept hasn't changed in the mind for many, many years.
Right, right.
Right now, even I see a lot of podcasters. Some of them are like, oh, today's men are so weak. You should be masculine, you should this, you should that, you should that. I mean, imagine if the world was like that. What, are we going to live in a world of Vikings over here again? I mean, you remember those days where women were not, they had no voice. And today women
Hmm.
have a lot of voice.
Too
But
many, too much voice for
yeah,
looking like now.
and I
Hmm.
think we have to move into a place where we have balance now.
Right,
The
right.
yin and the yang both are a must today. It's no longer only masculine energy, feminine energy. We need that balance between men and women.
Hmm. I couldn't agree more. And I think, for me, what I hear you say around, how to deal with the societal pressure is, first of all, I feel like it still boils down to you knowing what works for you. Because, for example, you talked about it depends on your response to what is. So if you are there's the introversion as a thing, knowing your energy interaction with others, but there's also, I just don't want to middle with people, right? So if you know yourself to say, okay, it's an energy thing, but then you actually need to interact with people, then you're able to almost like find a balance from when you interact and when you withdraw. So you're not overextending your energy, but at the same time, you're not isolating too much to get into the place where you cannot interact again. So, how would you speak to a young person? I think I would say speak to two sets of people: a young man who is just trying to find themselves, and an older man who is like they're already made. They're already it's like they're already there's a thing we call it in Nigeria, it says dried fish. When the fish is dried, the only thing you can do is break. If it's still fresh, you can bend it, right? So they are dried fish. Are they still able to enjoy some of this flexibility with their energy level, or dealing with this pressure, or they just have to stick with what is because that's all they've known all their lives?
Well, like you said, you have to know oneself first. 13 years ago, I was lost. I was told to go to a speaking club. I walked in, I was asked to speak on a topic for 2 minutes. I was just a guest. And at that point, I felt electricity in my body. I was like, oh my God, you know, this is something I'm born to do. And it took me back to high school because I used to be a very shy boy. And in high school, I went on to become student council president. And I had to speak in front of 600 students. And I wasn't sure, is this going to work or not? But something inside of me wanted that leader to come out. And I was a very shy kid, by the way. And I went up there and I spoke, and I think that was the what changed everything around for me. It boosted my confidence because I did something I thought I couldn't do, right?
Mm.
So for young men, I would always say, keep doing the thing that gives you fear. Keep doing it,
Mm.
because that's when your self-confidence comes up. And I tell all my students this in class, the story, right? About the whole journey of how I decided I wanted to speak. And, I was up till 4 a.m. writing the speech, and I tell them the whole story. And then in the end of the day, I ask them, do you know how much what happened to my confidence? They're like, it went up. I'm like, it went up. It skyrocketed. Because that same very day I became student council president, I picked up the phone, I called the girl, and she went on to become my high school girlfriend. So see what one event led to something else. And then I have the disclaimer, this is not a dating class, please. So don't take it the wrong way. This is a public speaking class. you know?
I mean, if you could speak to 600 people, then you should be able to speak to that one girl. So again, it's a tip.
Yeah. Yeah. But you see, for younger men, I think it's more about experimenting,
Mm.
and for older men, again, it's about getting out of your comfort zone. As we get
Mm.
older, we get more comfortable, right?
Right.
Like even I'm in my 40s now, and there's some things I just don't enjoy anymore. Even though, but sometimes I do have to get out of my comfort zone and do those things.
Right.
And what you
Mm.
said about being introvert, extrovert, I don't even believe in those words. It's a choice.
Mm.
It's a choice. When you speak to your best friend, what would you say you are, an introvert or an extrovert?
I'm just me.
Exactly. You are choosing when you want to be you and when you don't want to be you. Because in this societal pressure,
Mm.
we put on so many
Ah,
masks, right?
right.
And
Hmm.
sometimes we have no choice. Like me as a coach, I've worked with so many children. I cannot go on my Instagram and start swearing. I cannot say, those words, because I know some people do, some influencers do, but I cannot, because I teach children. It'll give that wrong impact, right?
Mm. Mm. Mm.
Like I've heard Gary Vee swear, and Gary is fine with it. He's like, I'm going to be myself. Doesn't matter, no matter what. But then some of us choose not to be like that.
Right. Hmm. That's so good.
And to be
I love
really, really
it.
it takes a lot.
It takes a
It
lot.
takes
It
a
takes
lot
a lot.
to be really, really you. And because I love what you said in the beginning, be vulnerable. That is why when I go to my speaking club, I'm vulnerable. I talk about everything, you know. I talk about everything in speeches and all of that. I don't shy back. Like I talk about going bankrupt. I talk about being jailed. I talk about making stupid mistakes. And, you know, for me, it's like, it's part of life, right? But when
Right.
you tell the story and the lesson behind the story, that's when the transformation happens.
Happens. Right.
And for
Right.
and for and that's why I enjoy doing the whole public speaking thing.
Hmm. Hmm.
And I think
I
that's
like.
one another way men can come out and communicate. I always tease my wife. I say, you know why? You know why I started speaking? Because you don't let me speak at home. So I'm going out and speaking. And
So you say one of the tip to deal with societal pressure is become a public speaker.
Go give a speech. I'm not saying you have to be a public speaker, but join a speaking club or join a community where you can share your thoughts. And especially for older men, it would be best for them to be around like-minded people, you
Hmm.
know, um, because obviously the life experiences and all. I prefer being with the younger people because I can share my stories with them. I'm always like happy to share with the youth, you know,
Hmm.
like giving them advice. And some, like, a lot of them come up to me and they're like, can you mentor us, and but we can't afford you. I don't even talk about money, and they're like, but I can't pay so much. Are you a coach? I'm like, yeah. I'm like, you can just buy me a coffee, that's okay, you know
Aw. But that's good. And I think that's another thing that men need. And this is me speaking from the perspective of a coach, saying that um, a lot of men don't really they the fear for judgment is overshadowing their need for vulnerability or for reaching out, even amongst themselves as men. You see, like they, yeah, even within men, they are constantly thinking, okay, how would this person gauge me? How would this What would this person think of me if they know the true side of, oh, my situation right now? But the truth is, I feel like you said, is also about just, I don't know, sometimes you can't get to the good people without going through the bad ones. Sometimes
Agree.
you can't, yeah,
Agree.
you can't appreciate loyal relationship without being stabbed, right? So if you have to go through that, it means that you might have to make mistakes with getting deceived by people for a period. Before then, you can easily spot when somebody does not is not on the same energy level with you. Like right now, you get into a room, there's a place you get into a room, and you just instantly know that I cannot connect with this person. It doesn't mean we can't speak. We can speak, but this speaking, this connection is ends here. It can't take it further because I don't feel your vibe. But
Yes.
that feeling of vibe comes out of you actually dealing with different kind of people to then recognize what works for you and what doesn't. But I feel like a lot of people, and this is not even just men, it's people generally, a lot of people are too scared, too scared to be heard, too scared to be judged, that they just then keep to themselves. And it's almost like they're being eaten up from within. And yeah, I'm not a man, but Yogesh, thank you for coming on the show and just giving us some insight. And I mean, you have done the work because it still requires work. And you have done the work to know what works for you and how you can create channels through which you let out when you're feeling, all these bubbles inside. So it's not erupting and imploding, but you are giving yourself opportunity to explode, to express yourself. And I think that is truly important with any man. Over to you, Gracie.
I'm very happy for you. You shared heavy nuggets. I must say heavy nuggets. Yeah. So communication is the problem. How do you deal with it? Go learn how to speak, how to break your thoughts to a point where. And the truth of the matter, someone said something recently that, you know what? The only reason why a problem persists is because a particular solution has not been applied. So it continues to be a problem because we are yet to understand certain things, and you've been able to share. You have used your voice for impact. Right now, this is where we get that moment where we say you have used your voice for impact, and I'm sure that some people will bump into, if you're watching this right now, this is a time to share it and use it as a way of creating impact so that someone can hear this and apply what we have shared today. I mean, I could be here, and you know how interesting it is for Yogesh and for the energetic. I must add this. The more we are in this space of communicating, and like you said, intuitively, you're able to almost know and connect with what the other person is saying, because we kind of work in the same space, and we connect on different levels. And I think that's very good. I mean, we can argue, we can quarrel. I and Yogesh don't always agree on everything, but we've been able to manage to be friends for over 4 years. And same with the energetic. And I think, generally speaking, I mean, I could go on. This is very interesting, and I'm sure our next guest, where we'll talk about ego, we'll talk about other things. So we'll keep that for next week. It's been an amazing journey today, and I'm very happy that you honored our invitation. You're working today, like you told me how long you wanted to know how long this would take, and I hope we've not taken too much of your time. Thank you for honoring our invitation, and please subscribe, like, and share this video. Tell someone to tell someone that this month we are focusing on men, and we are going to make sure that at the end of this month we'll be able to come up with something that we can apply as women and even as men. All right. I think it's
Thank you
been
so
a
much,
good.
ladies, for the invitation. It was such a pleasure having a conversation with both of you. And I congratulations on running, your voice, your impact for the last year and above. I wish you guys all the best. I hope you hit your not 10. I hope you will
10,000.
hit your 100,000 subscribers very soon.
And that's to the atmosphere. Yeah, to the universe. We will.
And it's 11:11 today. Anything's possible.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you so much, Yogesh. I would let you, I will release you now so you can get back to work. But thank you for taking our time to join us today in the middle of work. God bless you. Say hi to all
Thank
your
you. Thank you,
China
ladies.
friends.
Oh,
All right.
definitely. Thank you, ladies. See you.
All right. Bye. Yeah. All right. So, guys, I really do hope you had fun with that conversation. If you're a man and you feel like you have a feedback for us, like, oh, there's this thing you should have spoken more about with Yogesh, let us know. That's the whole point. See, we're not doing this just because it's a show. Myself and Grace have gone beyond. This is life for us. It's not just a show, right? So we've gone beyond that. So please reach out to us with your feedback, because whatever feedback you give to us will also help us make the show better, and we can come up with the conversations that you feel like we didn't have this conversation. We could have asked these questions, or this is what you expected and you didn't get that. Let us know. Slide into our DMs. You can reach out to us on Instagram, and or drop a comment on the YouTube channel, or if you're on LinkedIn, slide into our DMs on LinkedIn and just ask questions or give us feedback. Or you can send an email as well to voiceimpactm@gmail.com for any feedback you have for us. But before we wrap it up today, I'll just go back again and tell you about our sponsor for this episode, which we're going to keep reiterating because we're going through a process to pick or select a winner for this episode. So please pay attention if you're still here. We're going to be showing this in the course of this series, which is running for the month of November. So today's episode was sponsored by Present Right Academy, who are the brain behind Practice Speak Repeat, which is a 12-week program to help you master your speaking capacity. And just as the conversation we've had today, one of the ways is when you are able to articulate yourself, then it becomes better to communicate with other people as well. And you're able to, just share what you want to share in a way that other people can understand, and you don't get to maybe say something that you don't mean, right? So this particular slot, this program is a 3 months program, which is 12 weeks, and is worth 350,000 naira, which is about $200+. All right. So, and the Present Right Academy is offering one lucky winner, one of our audience, a free slot for this program. It starts in January, but this is how you can be a part of it. So this is how you can be the lucky winner who will win that slot. All right. Follow Your Voice, Your Impact show on Instagram, and Public Speaking for Women. Public Speaking for Women on Instagram. Subscribe to our YouTube channel here. Create a 1-minute video telling us why you should be the lucky winner, and send this video to voiceimpactm@gmail.com on or before November 30th. All right. And all entries that we get by November 30th will be posted on our page on December 1st, and we'll run through the 16th of December when we would announce the winner. So the person with the best reason plus the most engagement will be our winner. All right. So please be a part of this and win this opportunity to fine tune your public speaking skills. All right. I hope that we get a winner at the end of this run. All right. Thank you so much for being a part of the show today. Till we come your way again next week, we're talking about, we're having another guest, and he will be talking something very interesting. He's a coach as well, and he'll be talking about the ABCD of life. You know, it's a framework he's working on, and it's very interesting. ABCD of life plus goal setting specifically for men and then generally. So be a part of that. He's going to be joining us all the way from Kenya. He's a global citizen, but you hear all about him when he comes on the show next week. And at the end of the month, we're having a panel session for the very first time. No, not the very first time. We've had panel sessions before, actually. We've had multiple people. Yeah, we've had. Yeah, yeah.
We've had multiple people, but not like in the panel section like that.
Right, right.
It was
So
just regular question and answering. But there's okay. Let's just say there's a touch to this particular one. There's a touch.
right, right. So woo, it's gonna be fun. So please don't miss it. So join us again next week, Monday. This is 18th. Today's 11th plus 7, 18th. 18th
Yeah.
of November. Next week, Monday, same time, same station. Please remember to subscribe, like, share. Okay. God bless you. We'll see you next week. Bye, guys.